Hello and welcome to Chapter 9 Interlude, Yet the Stars Still Sparkle. Since the second stage, well, if you don't count the Chapter 4 in, is concluded, we are now one step closer in the Dream Seeker system. It is probably time for us to go to the next stage, and Chapter 3 Interlude, the last time, give us a lot of lore drops and the Mars origin and explain us about the Dreamseeker systems, and now I assume that this interlude will do something similar. But most importantly is adult Silly. Yep, she got her adult look, and that's actually the most exciting part here right now. Let's jump into the chapter. After awakening from a near-death experience, Coralie's consciousness arrived at the dragon ruins, where she met the newborn dragon Nana. The baby dragon told Coralie that she would achieve immortality by passing the trials of permanence. With no other choice, Coralie followed baby dragon to tackle the 3 trials. The first trial was about wisdom. The second trial was about courage. The third trial was about conviction. Standing before Coralie after she passes the trial was Nalap, the creator of the trials, who had also altered the choices during the trials. From Nalap's reaction, Coralie deduced that the third trial was not a fictional, but rather a real event from Nalap's past. Coralie realized that humans achieve immortality through their actions, believing that everyone's happiness outweighs an illusionary eternal life. She shattered the Dragon Scale Pact, and together with Nana, defeated the monsters summoned by their guilt-ridden Nalap. After regaining consciousness, Nalap realized that over the long years, she had forgotten her reasons for choosing to live with Senadio. She thanked Coralie for helping her remember the past, and temporarily housed Coralie's fading consciousness inside Nana. Meanwhile, as the 33rd Chenxue's war came to an end, Lito's plan to erase the god's obsession through his own death succeeded. Layla selected a new knight. All tragedies were wiped from people's mind, and the people of Ruimu began to celebrate. However, Duonigo did not forget. Amid a dog's mournful barking, everyone recalled Lito's existence. Layla also recalled everything she has been manipulated into forgetting, and in her fury, her authority spiraled out of control, and disaster-struck Lo Shing stood on the brink of destruction. Bianca single-handedly held back the shadow calamities at Ruimu, while Dreamseeker and the no-ordinary Seven Shoes led everyone to seek refuge in Langqiu. The reunited Coralie and Helia rushed to the battlefield beneath the dark sun. To defeat the powerful creation of Shadow and prevent the disaster brought by the gods, Coralie channeled the mighty power of the dragon science at the cost of disappearing. Together with Helia, she defeated the powerful enemy and created a miracle that sent the Berserk god to slumber. Having accepted death, Coralie planned a grand funeral for herself, only to be told that she has been rescued. Aboard Hyperion 11, Coralie and her companions finally earned their happy ending. Warm darkness rushed in, like a mother's warm hand, like a baby's bubbles, like huge clouds. Gummies of flour drifting gently past in a lightless ocean. And so, thoughts began to flow. Is this death?
是啊，这下你就明白了吧？你的死就代表着失败、结束、重来，意味着你之前所有努力都是白费、无用、徒劳无功。
That's right. Do you understand now? Your death means failure, game over, restart, it means all your previous efforts were wasted. Useless, for nothing. The typical Vita fashion, by the way. The background music that we are right now hearing is from Vita's band.
不想再经历这种糟糕的体验的话，下次就离那条黑色的小狗远一点吧。
If you don't want to experience something so awful again, stay away from that little black dog next time.
对不起，我又失败了。这是第几次了？
I'm sorry, I failed again. How many times has it been?
第27次，我亲爱的小淘气。比起道歉，你要不要先治治你那个行动先于思考的毛病？
27 times, my dear little troublemaker. Instead of apologizing, why don't you work on that habit of acting before thinking?
就算不用你出手，没准也会有别的人来救那位墨镜小贩呢。如果你能像小 V 一样更专注于爱惜自己的性命，小 V 会很开心的。
Even if you didn't help, someone else might have come to save that sunglass vendor, right? If you could learn to cherish your own life like we does, we would be delighted.
可是我做不到袖手旁观。
But I cannot just stand by and do nothing.
唉，即使进入轮回会让你忘记之前的经历，这么多次的死亡还不足以让你形成肉体记忆吗？
Even if entering a samsara makes you forget your previous experiences, haven't all those deaths been enough to form muscle memories?
100次的痛楚都无法磨灭你这没事找事的本能，我都要有点佩服你了。
Experiencing pain 100 times cannot fix your tendency to seek trouble. I must say, I am almost impressed.
请谨记，你才是寻梦之旅的核心。除你的生命外，没有任何人、任何事值得真爱。
Remember, you are the core of this dream-seeking journey. Nothing and nobody, except your own life, is worth cherish.
这是我和 Vita 的过去。
Is this my past with Vita?
哦，看来你终于想起了，只属于我们的秘密过往呢。
Oh, so you finally remember our secret past together.
Vita， 请你以后不要再以那种方式突然出现在我背后。
Vita, please don't suddenly appear behind me in that way again.
还真是冰冷的语言呀！明明小 V 绞尽了脑汁来制造浪漫感呢。
Such cold words, and I went through all the trouble to create a romantic atmosphere.
你得以恢复了更早的记忆，看来这就是这次的通关奖励了。怎么样？在知道我才是你真正意义上的第一个伙伴后，你有没有变得更喜欢我一点？
You have recovered your earlier memories, which I assume is your reward for clearing this round. Now that you know I was actually your very first companion, have you grown to like me a little more?
我想起来了，我曾独行许久，上百次的失败将我裹挟，无尽的悲伤。最初的轮回里只有我，以及每次失败回到这里才能见到的，仿佛我的送葬人一样的死亡宣告着 Vita。
Remember now, I have been failing alone for so long, lost in failures and sorrows. In the first samsara, there was only me and Vita, whom I could only meet here after each failure, acting as my undertaker.
嗯哼，如果你非要听实话，那我会说，想起这些事更像惩罚，而非奖励。
If you really want to hear the truth, I would say, remembering those things feels more like a punishment than a reward.
真巧，我也一样。
What a coincidence. Same here.
自从和希娜相遇，一切才发生了改变。
我遇到了来自地球的伙伴，解决了数据之海的侵蚀，抵达了浪丘。
Everything changed after meeting Senadia. I made friends from Earth, resolved the Sea of Data corruptions, and reached Langqiu.
虽然我们也曾数次失败，但他们的温暖陪伴让我每次都能走得更远，最终打出了我独自一人从未抵达的结局。
Although we failed several times, their company helped me to go further each time, until I finally achieved an ending that I alone could never.
幸好，我们后来结交的地球朋友具备与热心肠相匹配的能力，否则就连这次的善区，恐怕又要平添不少你的死亡注解。
Fortunately, the Earth's friends we made later had abilities that matched their kindness. Otherwise, more death would have been added to your records in this sector.
是他们为手握黄道星之环的你，创造了彻底封印历史中制造了大隐灾的累伊拉的机会，还替七树提前解决了神明那尚未觉醒自我意识的护从劫。
It was they who created the opportunity for you, holder of the Zodian Astral Ring, to completely seal Layla, who caused the great shadow calamity in history, and helped Chenxue dispose of the god's retainer, Perception, before she becomes self-aware.
由此，廊丘再不必背负囚隐监牢的命运，本该在同一时期发生的琥珀街大恐慌事件也荡然无存，真是人人自得，事事圆满。
As a result, Langshi is no longer burdened with the fate of imprisoning shadows, and the Great Panic did not occur on Amber Streets in the same period. Everyone got what they wanted. Everything just peachy.
圆满。
Peachy? Yeah, that's what I also ask myself. Don't know what this supposed to mean.
这的确可以被称为圆满，可是为何我内心的某处依然有些说不清道不明的心情？
This can be called a peachy ending, alright. And yet, somewhere in my heart, there's still this feeling I cannot put into words.
怎么不说话？难不成是在为自己抢了白级风头，又害那几位失了玉影七术一名而不好意思？
Why so quiet? Don't tell me you are feeling guilty for stealing Baiji's thunder and robbing those folks of a place among their venerable seven shoes.
不，我其实在想，好吧，你刚刚说的我也很在意。
No, I was just thinking. Fine. What you just said also concerned me.
白吉的狂妄建立在他能比所有人更早察觉到人之局限一事上。
Baiji's arrogance stemmed from his ability to perceive human limitations before anyone else.
要是早知女与神明的奇妙联系，就算你不要，他都会将窃来的黄道星之环拱手奉上。
Had he known about your particular connections with the god earlier, he would have handed over the stolen Zodiac Astral Ring to you, even if you didn't want it.
无论如何，你才是这场冒险的主角。尽快开启下一扇区的冒险，回溯更早的历史，才是神明对主角的期待。
Either way, you are the protagonist of this adventure. Quickly unlocking the next sector and rewinding earlier history is what the god expects from her protagonist.
那你呢？
What about you?
我当然只会期待自己。
Me? I only look forward to myself.
总之，既然这次也已经顺利通关，事不宜迟，该回到现实，让大家好好夸夸你，然后准备下一次行动了。
Anyway, since you have made it past this, we should not delay. It is time to return to reality, so everyone can shower you with praise, and then prepare for the next operation.
等等，
Wait,
再往前回溯，就会抵达这里大部分人还没诞生的世界。我想抓住机会，和大家做最后一次告别。
going further back in time would take us to a world where most of them were not even born. I want to take this chance to say one last goodbye to them. No way, we never will see Songque?
你还真是天真的惹人怜爱。
My, aren't you adorably naive?
这是以你为主人公的故事，他们不过是为你而存在的配角，而这个结局中的他们，甚至只是虚拟历史中众多可能性的分支之一。
This is a story where you are the protagonist, and they are merely supporting characters who exist for your sake. And in this ending, they are but one of the many possible outcomes in a virtual history.
向一群因你的选择才得以存在的人告别，有意义吗？
Is there any meaning in parting ways with NPCs who only exist because of your choices? Very mean, Vita.
这个问题好像难住他了。
娜娜，
哇，你终于有反应了！来，快说说你思考5秒后得出的终极答案。我是谁？
Wow, you finally respond. Come on, tell Nana the ultimate answer. You arrived after 5 seconds of thinking. Who am I? Though Vita's last words still etch in your heart like barbed an arrow, you could not help but smile when you open your eyes again to see the city you had protected bathing in a warm sunlight. A fluffy head forcefully nuzzled into the crook of your arm. You patted the fuzzy fur on its head, which was warm and comforting to touch.
答案是42。
The answer is 42.
抱歉，这是学生时代陈学姐和我最喜欢的玩笑。
Sorry. This was my favorite joke between Chenxue and me back in our students' day. You look at Chenxue, who was smiling at you from behind Nana, and the exhausted Tsavorae beside her. They both waved at you with a smile, as if the temporal gap from moments ago never existed. The blank in time, the liminal space between reality and dreams, or as Vita jokingly called it, the system's main menu screen, whatever you call it, was still a place that only you and Vita could access. Perhaps that God's real form was there as well. So, before that God noticed your prolonged presence, this is truly the last chance to say goodbye.
对不起，娜娜，我现在还没办法给出你想知道的终极答案。
I'm sorry, Nana. Right now, I still cannot give you the ultimate answer you want to know.
但你很坚定哎，不像我满脑袋问号，摇一摇还能听见咕嘟咕嘟的声音。
But you are so firm in your beliefs. Unlike me, with my head full of questions, shake it and you can hear them rattling around.
这都要感谢陈学姐。不久前，我从她的口中收获了鼓励与安慰，以及一种更加亲切的用以观察自我的视角。
I have Chenxue to thank for that. Not long ago, I received encouragement and comfort from her, as well as a more intimate perspective for self-reflection.
那场对谈让我摆脱了无法确证自我的阴影，也让我进入了心无旁骛的状态。
That conversation helped me to overcome the shadows of being unable to verify myself and put me in a state of undivided attention.
虽然直到现在，我也没法自信满满的说出我已经彻底解决了这个问题，但它已经不会再成为我的梦魇，我的恐惧了。
Even now, I cannot confidently say I have completely resolved this issue, but it's no longer my nightmare, no longer my fear.
我与真正的自我的确还隔着很远很远的距离，不过，我确信自己已经踏上了一条终将拨开迷雾的道路。
I'm still very far from my true self. However, I'm certain that I have set foot on a path of finally clearing the mist someday.
那你也太厉害啦！娜娜甚至还没有找到直达龙生答案的道路， 只是找到了最喜欢的同伴而已。
You are amazing. Nana has not even found the path to the answer of life yet. She has only found her favorite companion. Which probably will also have to say goodbye.
当然，等我找到路的那天，就会离开它，成为一条独立自主的。
Of course, when I find my way, I will leave here and become an independent. Sensing that its words might come off as insensitive, it quickly added another sentence.
考虑到娜娜现在还是一条小龙，所以找寻道路多半会花费对人类而言特别漫长的时间。
Given that Nana is still a tiny dragon, finding the path will likely take an exceptionally long time by human standard.
不过也有例外，万一哪天我灵光一闪，比如明天，又比如后天，唰的一下想明白了，告别就会提早很多很多。
But there are exceptions. If one day Nana has an aha moment, could be tomorrow or the day after, and suddenly figures everything out, or parting would come much sooner.
怪不得你没有跟着克拉丽立刻离开系统，而是选择先找我聊天呢。
No wonder you didn't leave the system with Coralie right away, but chatted with me first instead.
被你看出来了。
You figured it out?
凭我对他的了解，在决定和你成为朋友时，他就会把终有一别的贴纸贴在最显眼的地方，提醒自己更加珍惜与你相处的每个瞬间。
From what I know about her, when she decides to befriend you, she will put a parting is inevitable sticker in the most visible place, reminding herself to cherish every moment spent with you even more.
真到了必须分别的时候，他也一定会是第一个替你感到开心的人。要是你舍不得离开，他还要催你走呢。
When the time to part ways come, she will surely be the first one to feel happy for you. And if you are reluctant to leave, she will even urge you to go.
毕竟，此前的每一天都是他在为分别而做的预演啊。
After all, every day before that was her rehearsal for the farewell.
不愧是克拉丽，可惜她就从来都不会使用娜赫拉送的贴纸。
That's so Coralie. Too bad. She never used the stickers Nalab gave her.
是说雷耶拉吗？
Do you mean Layla?
对娜娜来说，娜赫拉的记忆是一部又厚又重的、十分珍贵的书。
To Nana, the memories of Nalab are like a thick, heavy, and precious book.
读这本书时，我总是很难过，可我心里的小河每一次都只能冒出5-6颗泡泡。
Reading this book always makes Nana sad. Yet the small river in Nana's heart can only produce 5 or 6 bubbles each time.
它们很脆弱，喜欢在变成眼泪飞向天空前突然碎掉，就像现在这样。
They are very fragile, and they like to burst before they can turn into tears or float up in the sky, just like now.
娜娜，是不是冷酷的坏龙？
Oh my god, is Nana a heartless evil dragon?
才不是呢，娜娜会为此苦恼，反而说明娜娜是一条善良的龙。
No, that's not true. The fact that you worry about this proves you are a kind dragon.
无法流出眼泪，是因为娜娜还没完全读懂另一条龙的一生，也因为你自己的书，才写到了第2页。
You cannot shed tears because you have not fully comprehended the story of another dragon's life, as well as because you are only on the 2nd page of your own book.
在娜赫拉的记忆里，每到这种时候，人类就要流下眼泪，再送出些什么，以完成告别的仪式。
In Nalab memory, at times like this, humans would shed tears and give something away to complete the parting ritual.
但娜娜做不到第一件事， 也送不出读书心得这样厉害的东西。
But Nana couldn't do the first thing, or give something as impressive as reading notes.
那不如像批注一样，留下一句你最想说的话吧。
Why don't you leave what you want to say the most as an annotation?
什么都行吗？
Can I write anything?
什么都行。
Anything goes? Nana gazed at the pool of shadows, where an old world completely foreign to its slumber. Nana wanted to bid farewell purely out of feelings it could not yet comprehend. But who says caring cannot be naive? And sorrow must be profound.
你好，小蕾耶拉。
Hello, little Layla.
还有，再见。
And goodbye. Suddenly, ripples spread across the calm pool of shadows. Looking closely, there were 5 or 6 circles.
这种时候就不要打扰娜娜了。
Better not disturb
接
Nana
下
this time.
来，
Now then. Come on, Peter, don't interrupt our goodbyes. I don't want to speak to you right now. We ignore her. Chenxue and Lantern again together. Okay. Rita, Ajita, who is this?
徐梦哲，抱歉，刚才那么着急离开，直到现在才联系你。在确认克拉丽平安无事后，大家都有些喜不自胜。
Oh, Durandal. Ripsika, I apologize for leaving in a hurry earlier and only contacting you now. After confirming that Coralie was safe and sound, everyone was overwhelmed with joy.
人之常情。
That's only natural.
即便你不描述，我也目睹了赫利亚手抖3次才把小威币投进投币电话的场面。至于修伯利安11号上正在发生的事，更是不难想象。
Even without your description, I saw Helia's hands trembling so much that it took her 4 attempts to insert a V coin into the payphone. As for that's what's happening on Hyperion 11, that's easier to imagine.
当然，联系你不只是为了这件大家已有所预期的事。阿杰塔刚刚还特别补充了一条关于瑞木的信息。
Of course, I didn't contact you just for this matter that everyone had predicted. Ajita just added a piece of information about Ruimus.
因为神明的长眠，作为神明居所的高塔行将逐渐崩解。自此，永夜之城便要迎来真正的黎明。
As the god enters eternal slumber, the tower where the god resides gradually crumbles. From this moment on, the city of eternal night shall welcome its true dawn.
那真是太好了。
That's great.
现在说这话可能有些不合时宜，但天将亮起的时候，往往也是最寒冷的时候。
It may be inappropriate to say this now, but the coldest hour is often just before dawn.
作为 S 级女武神，我本应做到更多事。
As a S-rank Valkyrie, I should have been able to do more.
别这么说，如果没有你，普通民众很难有足够的时间来廊丘避难。我们也会在接近雷耶拉之前，淹没在蜂拥而至的怪潮里。
Don't say that. Without you, ordinary civilians would not have enough time to evacuate to Langchu, and we would have been overwhelmed by the swarming monsters before we could approach Layla.
你可是我们的大救星啊！
You are our savior.
谢谢你。也许是出于习惯，每次任务结束，我都会开始反思自己是否能做到更好，有没有尽自己的全力，下一次该怎么改进。不过至少现在，让我们珍惜这来之不易的胜利吧。
Thank you. Perhaps out of habit, after each mission I always start reflecting on if I could have done better, if I gave it my all, and how to do better next time. But for now at least, let's celebrate this hard-earned victory.
寻梦者，你还会在系统里多待一段时间，对吗？
Dreamseeker, you will be staying in the system a while longer, right?
我
向一群因你的选择才得以存在的人告别，有意义吗？
Is there any meaning in parting ways with NPCs who only exist because of your choice?
这一善去的未来，或许确实走向了更圆满的明天。可这改变不了上一个善区里其数不命的死斗，也无法动摇原本的历史分毫。那么，这一切的意义，仅仅是我的自我满足吗？
Perhaps the sector will have a brighter tomorrow, but that won't change the life or death battle of the 7 truths in the previous sector. No alter the original history one bit. Then, is the meaning of all of this merely my self-gratification? Of course, I still need to part ways with my friends. Though the samsara may test your friendship over and over again, with it exists in something that it could never be changed. It made you who you are, and the same applies to them.
那就去确认这份胜利吧，寻梦者。
Now go on and claim this victory, Dreamseeker.
这是经由你的不懈努力才获得保全的城市，理应由你去接受大家的感谢。
This city was preserved through your tireless efforts. You deserve to receive everyone's gratitude. Oh, the goodbyes. The goodbyes. Oh wait, we will never see them again.
放开我！
Let me go!
恕难从命。
I cannot.
那是
Isn't that?
廊丘往瑞木的交通枢纽如今已经全部瘫痪，在这种情况下只身前往，简直是天方夜谭。你该三思而后行，不要冲动行事。
By the way, Lantern, or like Tsavorae, looks very battled. Our transportation hubs from Chenxue to Ruimus are now paralyzed. Going there alone under those circumstances is pure fantasy. Think twice before you act.
可是，也许这是唯一的机会了。在那座塔彻底倒塌之前，我要进去寻找姐姐的线索。
But this might be our only chance. I must find clues about my sister before the tower completely collapses.
更何况，我看你才是吧？
Besides, I think you are the one who needs to hear that.
我
Me?
我什么我啊？你都伤成这样了，还非要瘸着腿跑来这里，你是不是担心还有没清理干净的隐怪，准备抱着这样的身体继续战斗？
What do you mean me? You're the one who limped your way here despite being wounded all over. Are you worried there might be shadow monsters left unkilled? And planning to keep fighting in this condition, aren't you?
你居然猜出来了！
You actually have the right guess.
你这人还真是。
You really are something.
我就帮你简单包扎了一下，可没说你不需要继续接受专业医师的治疗，你才应该立刻回家休息。
I patched you up, but that doesn't mean you don't need proper medical attentions. You should go home and rest right away.
我可不能眼睁睁看着你以身涉险。
I won't sit by and watch you put yourself in danger.
所以，陈学姐是想前往瑞木高塔。
So, Chenxue, do you want to go to the Tower of Ruimus?
是啊，要不是这个伤员一直拦着我，而我又担心太用力会让他的伤口裂开。
That's right. If it were not for this injured person holding me back, and my feeling that being too forceful might reopen her wounds.
这样的话，或许我能帮上忙。
Maybe I can help.
啊？
用这枚小微币就可以借助街边的电话亭进行远距离穿梭。我可以拜托我的朋友对它稍加改造，应该能把你送到瑞木的电话亭去。
With this weak point, You can use the phone board on the street for long distance warping. I can ask my friend to modify it a bit, which should be able to send you to the phone board in Ruimus. By the way, did you just call friend Vita friend?
真的，太好了，太好了，多亏有你在，太好了。
Ah, really? Oh, that's wonderful, truly wonderful. Oh, thank you. Thank to you. Thanks, godness. Yes, thank you. Goodness, not godness. Okay, good.
看，我就说吧，三思而后行，解决办法就会自己冒出来。
See, I told you so. Think before you act, and solutions will present themselves.
你这根本是歪打正着吧？不管怎么说，真的太感谢了。
You just got lucky here. But still, thank you so much.
沙弗莱小姐，萍水相逢，我们也不说客套话。
Miss Tsavorae, let's keep the formalities for this chance encounter.
改改你的犟脾气吧。
You should work on that stubborn attitude of yours.
彼此。
Look who is talking. The big coin that was not used in times was thus passed to Chenxue's hands. As the coin fell, a few fate emerged. What?
但愿这一次，陈学姐不会空手而归。
I hope this time Chenxue won't return empty-handed.
他是个聪明人，更是我见过的最执着的好人。
She's clever, and the most determined good person I have ever met.
只要击破心墙，无论面对何种情境，想必都能取得独一的收获。
If you break the walls around your heart, you will gain something unique, no matter the situation.
他听到这些一定很开心，那就祝他的电话亭之旅一路顺风吧。
You must be happy to hear all of this. Let's wish her a smooth journey to Fonbot.
说起来，那座电话亭沾染了些许弃用的气息，我不会认错。寻梦者，你们怎么会认识阿杰塔？
Speaking of that Fonbot, I detected traces of gadgets on it. I cannot be wrong. Dreamseeker, how do you know all about Ajita?
啊，这个
Well...
我们已经不是临时合作伙伴了，所以此前那项互不过问对方来历的交易作废。
We are no longer temporary partners, so our previous agreements about not questioning each other's backgrounds is void.
作为朋友，我希望我们彼此都可以更坦诚一点。
As friends, I hope we can be more honest with each other. Imagining Dr. Ajita relaxed state aboard Hyperion 11, you let out an awkward laugh.
出于某些原因，阿杰塔预测了这场灾难。我们是他提前找来的外援。
For some reason, Ajita predicted this disaster, and we are the external help she arranged in advance.
我原以为弃用就是他能够给出的所有帮助，还在心里骂他临阵脱逃了好几次。想不到你们才是真正的帮手。
I thought Gadget was all the help she could offer. I cursed her several times for deserting us, but turns out you were the real help she sent.
又欠他一回了。
I owned her again.
他应该不会在意。
She probably don't mind.
是啊，那女人不在意声名，不在意财富，情谊于她更是必依一见。
Indeed, that woman doesn't care about reputation and wealth, and to her, friendship is but rags and tatters.
以后要加大训练强度了。
From now on, I will have to train harder.
至少不要在每一次战斗里都把她替我出钱置办的制服弄成这样。
At least I need to stop ruining the uniforms she buys for me. Like this in every fight.
你该关心的不是制服，而是身体吧。
You should be more concerned about your body than your uniform.
身体可以花时间自己复原，衣服要花钱。
Bodies heal over time. Loss costs money. What a nice logic.
沙弗莱，我知道你不相信一劳永逸的事，但这一次就是最后一次了，我保证。
Tsavorae, I know you don't believe in permanent solution, but this time will be the last time, I promise.
你保证啊？
You promise? The hint of something tugging at Tsavorae's lips suddenly makes you feel like that the hasty promise, which sounded as unfounded as could be, might not be entirely worthless after all.
和所有人一样，我希望好事一次又一次的发生，否定、厌恶、抗拒那屡屡重演的坏事。
Like everyone else, I hope for good things to happen again and again, while denying, despising, and resisting the bad things that repeat themselves.
然而，世界在很久很久以前的一个夜晚，就向我展示过它的本貌，其非正义之主，而是慈悲之敌。
However, on a long night, long ago, the world showed me its true nature. Not a lord of justice, but an enemy of mercy.
在他面前，我永远不会放下我的戒备心。
I will never let my guard down before it.
沙弗莱，
先别急着皱眉头，我讲话有一点欲扬先抑的毛病。
Don't frown just yet. I have a habit of building up to my point.
我是说养伤期间，我会给自己放一次长假，用来好好思考自己未来究竟该做什么。
What I mean is, while I'm recuperating, I will take a long break to think carefully about what I should do with my future.
那你有没有考虑过开店？我觉得一间专门解决麻烦事的小店就很适合你。
You consider opening a shop? I think a small shop specializing in handling troublesome matters would suit you well. Or odd chops, or made coffee.
只要我最大的债主某日突然身亡命陨，这店就有开起来的可能。
If my biggest creditor suddenly drops dead one day, opening a shop would be possible. Got it. I will get right on it.
你的幽默感在我之上，我很欣赏。
Your sense of humor surpasses mine. I admire that. This is so good. I don't want to leave them.
谢谢你的建议，但这间小店恐怕我有生之年都开不起来了。
Thank you for the suggestion. But I'm afraid I won't be able to open this small shop in my lifetime.
我好像还是第一次见你说笑话。
I think this was the first time I have ever seen you crack a joke.
我说过，只是听到的人往往笑不出来。
I have done it before. It is just those who hear them rarely laugh.
寻梦者，告别只适合用在一个人真正离去的时候。我们还活着，暂时用不上。
Dream Seeker, farewells are only for when someone truly departs. We are still alive, so we don't need them yet.
所以，带着轻松的心情前进吧。
So, just move forward with a light heart.
原来你早就看出来了。
So you have known all along?
不然你以为我为什么要说这么多话？
Why else would I say so many things to you?
也是。那你要和我一起回琥珀街吗？
I see. Do you want to go back to Amber Streets with me?
不了，我想先休息一下。
No, I need to rest first.
这样啊，那我先走了。
Well, I will be going then.
寻梦者，
Dream Seeker.
再喜欢低头走路的人，偶尔也会抬头看一看天。
Even those who love walking with their heads down will occasionally look up to the sky.
我保证。
I promise. This land, long steeped in fear, would once again return to silence with the ending of a story. Before that, someone who has always tried to do something even after breaking down crying, had finally slowed her steps.
并因此，在希望的短暂照拂中，做了一个不再恐惧的好梦。接下来，该去琥珀街了。
Next, I should head to Amber Streets. There's no chapter that we don't go to Amber Streets. Songque! No! I don't want to. Man. No way this is ending. 9 chapters? Just 9 chapters? Okay, this was a lot of chapters.
寻梦者，你来的路上有没有看见瑟利姆？
Dream Seeker! Did you see Telema on your way here?
没有。
No, I haven't.
那他到底去哪儿了？哎呀，这种皆大欢喜的时刻，要是偏偏他出了事，那咱这辈子也不用抬头做人了。
Where did she run off to? If anything happened to her, right? When everything's supposed to be perfect, I swear I won't be able to show my face in public ever again.
你冷静一点，先告诉我发生了什么，好吗？
Calm down and tell me what happened, okay?
之前不是由咱和瑟利姆一块负责把大家引到他的庄园吗？
You know how me and Telema were supposed to guide everyone to her manor, right?
咱费尽千辛万苦，可算是一个不落的把大家都带到了。可咱前脚刚准备向瑟利姆汇报好消息，后脚就发现他不见了。
I went through hell and high water to bring every single soul there. But just when I was about to give Telema the good news, poof, she was nowhere to be found.
最后见到他的人说，在把人护送进庄园后，他就立刻倒了回去，像是急着找什么。哎呀，咱一听，冷汗登时流了一头。
The last person who saw her said that after finishing escorting, she immediately turned back, like she was in a hurry to find something. When I hear that, I broke into a cold sweat.
虽然咱也觉得有点扯，但说不定和多尼戈尔半途跑丢了有关。
I know it sounds kind of far-fetched, but it might have something to do with Donigo going missing halfway through.
为什么这么说？
What makes you to say that?
召集大家避难那会儿，咱见多尼戈尔怎么都不肯跟咱走，瑟利姆又似乎十分擅长训狗，就把狗往他怀里胡乱塞了一气，让他帮咱把狗也一块带回庄园。
When we were gathering everyone to safety, I saw Donigo would not budge no matter what. And since Telema seems pretty good with dogs, I just shoved the dog into her arms real quick and asked her to take it to the manor for me.
虽然知道多尼戈尔与他算不上宠物，他更不可能对咱随口拜托的事上心，但咱心里就是觉得不能排除这个选项。
I know Donigo are not exactly her pet, and she's probably not gonna take my casual request seriously, but you know, I just could not rule out that possibility.
多尼戈尔既然不肯走，那他会去的地方多半是利托斯特以前的藏身之处。如果瑟利姆想要寻找多尼戈尔，
Since Donigo refused to leave, it must be going to one of Lito's old hideouts. If Telema wants to find Donigo...
松雀，我知道一个地方可以一去，跟我来。
Songque, I know a place we can go. Follow me. Wait,
别
what
担
about
心，
Baiji?
瑟利姆不是常人。
Don't worry, Telema is no ordinary person.
咱担心的就是关骑马的
That's
关节
exactly
交
what I'm worried
啊！
about. You know what they say, the best riders can take the whatever. Go to Lito's hideout. Here's Telema. We just skip Baiji.
你怎么？你们也来这里散心？
You? Have you also come here to divert yourself?
当然不是，咱是来找。
Nah, I'm looking here for you.
好像是多尼戈尔的声音。
That sounds like Donigo's barking.
他就在房里。
It's in the room.
那你怎么站在门口？
Then why are you stationing at the doorway?
你想让我钻洞进，撬锁进，还是不成体统的破门而入？
Oh? Would you rather have me crawl through a hole, pick a lock, or break down the door in an unseemly manner to get in?
我不想惹一身狗毛，更不想为一只狗弄脏手。小雀子，正好你来了，这事儿就交给你去办吧。
I have no desire to get covered in dog hair, much less soil my hands or a mere mutt. Little sparrow, how fortuitous that you are here. This task shall be yours to handle.
还有别的理由吗？
Any other reasons you got? You notice that when Songque asked this question, it sounded like she was hinting at something.
没有，
No.
知道了，瑟琳姆小姐。
Got it, Miss Selima.
至于寻梦者，来这边吧，我有话跟你说。
As for the Dream Seeker, come this way. I have something to tell you. Unexpected goodbye to Tele. Oh. Yeah? Telema hands you a handkerchief that was wrapped around something similar, an accessory.
帮我挑个合适的机会，转交给小雀子，然后跟他说，
Find a suitable moment to pass this to that little sparrow, and tell her.
寻梦者，快来搭把手！
Dream Seeker, give me a hand! The moment Songque looked at you, Telema quickly put the handkerchief back into her palm.
当我什么都没说，你先去帮他吧。
Let's pretend I say nothing. Go help her first. What? Oh my god, this is so cute! I don't wanna leave them! Please don't make us really say goodbye to them. Songque, the
咱身边怎么尽是些跌了跤还不喊疼的人？
Why everyone around me gonna act tough when they are hurting?
再有下次，咱绝对不担心了。再担心，咱就是狗。
Next time, I aren't gonna worry about them at all. And if I do, I will be a dog.
桑雀，你叽里咕噜说什么呢？
Songque, what are you mumbling about?
没什么。
No, nothing. After a while, with your help, Songque managed to pry open the door. Before pushing the door open, you instantly held your breath, but aside from a little dust right up by the opening door, it was quite clean inside, albeit a bit messy. We were already in Lito's hideout, right? I think so. How did Litos manage to balance chaos and order so brilliantly?
呼猫唤狗的通用秘技在这里不起作用呢。
I was asking what was this noise. The universal secret technique of calling cats and dogs doesn't work here.
算了，咱本来也没指望多尼戈尔能有反应。他要是愿意跟利托斯特之外的人走，也不会跑来这里。
I wasn't expecting Donigo to respond anyway. If it was willing to follow anyone beside Litos, it would not have come here in the first place.
那我们分头找找。
Let's split up and search. Huh?
原来多尼戈尔并不是活了1000年的狗，而是许多只狗共享了先祖的名字。
Ruimus Notes. By the way, you can see January 35th. So they did not forget that on Mars their days are longer. The dog liked to bark madly in the morning, stir up trouble at noon, nap in the evening, and sleep soundly through the night. It had no love for tidy little rooms, clean bodies, lectures whispering in its ears, or Litost. So, in keeping with the dog's preference, I asked someone trustworthy to bury it in a place where no matter how many centuries pass, the changing sky would always be in view. If souls truly need a place to rest, then it can go on living just as it used to, barking at their sleeps and waking just to bark again. No need to worry about wild grass overtaking your territory, or about losing the path you used to roam. I will take care of you for your before every dawn. So, well, the dog did not survive all these years right now, right? Just like that day, I held a simple funeral. Of all the dog's many descendants, this was the only one that chose to stay by my side. It wasn't their carefully prepared meals I followed from books, nor the lush forest behind the house that made it stay. It was the clod it wrestled from my hand. It is a trophy of victory, which is used to build a den of its own. To set it apart from the dog, I decided to call it Duonigo. Though I did not come up with the name while it was alive, if the dog's bloodline continues, then let the name be passed down with it. Yeah, this is so tragic and actually cute, I don't know. October 19. Just like that day, I had a simple funeral. Not for its snow-white fur. I might doubt that Duonigo was their dog's kind. It was affectionate, always came when I called, lively but polite, full of energy, yet never crossed the line. And towards me was the same. Did time wear any your wilderness? Or were you simply smarter than the dog, clever enough to win endless love and a peaceful happy life? After I asked, Duonigo raised its tail one last time. Month 15. Oh, okay. they don't know what they should call the month 15. Okay, I see. Okay. Day 23. Just like that day, I had a simple funeral. Duonigo non-stop barking once earned me 5 straight days of complaining from neighbors, and in the end, I had to move somewhere more secluded. With nothing holding it back, it barked freely and lived on its own terms. That's why I believe that if it had barked just once with all its strength, it could have called me back. But like the dog, Duonigo had its pride. Maybe it believed that as long as it didn't speak first, the one barking had to be the enemy. And it held out, did it brilliantly. It saved that girl. It was me who did not get there in time. March 2nd. Just like that day, I had a simple funeral. Unlike the dog's snowy fur, Duonigo was bled at midnight, just like their hellhound from the underground in Layla's favorite childhood storybook. Hellhounds from the underground, Layla's favorite child storybook, that's also worth noting. It liked to bark through the night, cause mischief in the evening, nap at midday, and sleep soundly at dawn. Is it different from what we have heard before? Not really. It had no love for tidy little rooms, clean bodies, lectured whispers in its ears, or Litost. I often wonder that Donigo might just be the dog that came back in another form. But if it had already returned from hell, why did it have to go back again? To hold on to hope for a life already lost, and thought that, come to understand her emptiness, her longings, her need to cling to the past. Maybe that was Layla's true reason for asking me to keep the dog. But life rolling ever forwards is natural ways. Still, water only turns cloudlier and dries out. After witnessing Senadia's struggles for countless days and nights against the entity she could never defeat, my faith in the order of things wavered no more. So Donigo isn't a dog that's lived for 1,000 years, but rather many dogs sharing an ancestral name.
雷耶拉最初送给利托斯特的小狗，代代相传陪他度过许多时光。如果不是因为我们改写了结局，他会因大隐灾命丧于此，就此断绝多尼戈尔的传承。
The puppy that Layla first gave to Litost accompanied him for many generations. If he had not rewritten the ending, it would have perished here in the Great Shadow Calamity, ending the legacy of Donigo forever.
这倒让我想起了利托斯特是赛事主办方的共同代号的译文。还有，我曾在第一善区亲眼目睹的记忆。
That reminds me of an anecdote about Litost being their shared codename of their event organizers, and the memory I saw firsthand in Sector 1.
为了见到你，我有意让自己感到了恐惧。
To see you, I intentionally made myself feel fear.
也就是说，对利托斯特而言，他真正恐惧的其实是。
In other words, what Litost truly feared was.
而多尼戈尔拒绝在利托斯特殉身影坛前见他一面，却又赌上性命与决战斗，最终遗忘一切，退回了自己原初的模样。
And Donigo refused to meet Litost before he sacrificed himself of the pool of shadows, yet staked its life to fight against perception, ultimately forgetting everything and reverting to its original form.
这不是一件能够带出系统的手记，而是一段跨越了破碎时光的记忆，一节偶然与必然交织的命运回环。
This is not a memoir that can be taken out of the system, but a memory that transcends shattered time, a loop back of fate, where coincidences and inevitability intertwined.
尽管无言，但它就在这里，并且将要因为我来过，一直存在下去。
Though wordless, it exists here, and because it have come, it shall continue to exist.
这还真是。
This is really... Oh god, what happened?
痛死咱了！你个坏狗！
Oh, that hurts like hell. You bad dog.
你没事吧？
Are you alright?
咱这不是发现多尼戈尔藏在床底，嘴里还叼着什么，想利用那玩意儿把他拽出来吗？
I found Donigo hiding under the bed with something in its mouth, so I thought I would use that thing to drag it out.
结果这家伙死不松口，咱一个没收出力，就摔成这样了。
But this fella would not budge, so I pulled harder and harder, and here I am.
莫非你是为了这条破布才不肯跟我们走？你到底知不知道外面有多危险呀？啊！
Don't tell me you're not coming with us because of that wretched piece of cloth. Do you even know how dangerous it is out here? After an intense friendly exchange, you and Chenxue finally managed to carry Donigo, along with his beloved Rag, out of Lito's residence.
所以，瑟利姆小姐为何会在隐在未尽时外出散心？
So, Mr. Lima, why are you taking a walk while the shadow calamity is still raging?
我受不了满是聒噪，有承诺会将庄园用作避难处，想来也只能委屈自己了。
I simply cannot bear all the clamor inside, and since I promised to offer the manor as a shelter, I have no choice but to inconvenience myself.
有那么多散心地，瑟利姆小姐怎么偏偏散来了这里啊？
With so many places to clear your head, what do you have to pick up here all of the places, Miss Lima?
问我，不如先问问多尼戈尔为何会吠得如此大声，如此凄惨。听到那种声音，不免让人心生焦躁，顺手探一探究竟。
Rather than questioning me, perhaps you should first question why Donigo's howls so loudly and so pitiful. Such disturbing horrors compel me to investigate at my convenience.
咱可不认为手上都弄不开门，只能像尊门神一样站在门口也能称作顺手。
I wouldn't call exactly it a convenience when your hands too busted to open a door, leaving you standing like there is some statue.
右臂脱力了而已，倒是小雀子。
My right arm merely went limp. You, on the other hand,
我只让你把狗带出来，可没允许你把自己搞得灰头土脸，满臂擦伤。
I merely instructed you to bring out the dog, not to get yourself all disheveled and covered in scratches.
咱还不允许瑟利姆小姐把自己搞成这样呢。
I ain't gonna let Mr. Lema do this to herself. Noticing the Lema attempt to brush off her injuries, an inexplicable worry draws Songque to step forward. By the time she remembers the fuzzy master-servant relationship between them, they were less than half a step apart. At this distance, a fact that usually went unnoticed finally became apparent. Lem was actually slightly shorter than Songque.
做什么？
What are you doing? Wait, 1 centimeter?
究竟是脱力还是脱臼，咱一摸便知。
One touch. I will know if you just tired or got a dislocated joint.
不说焚香沐浴，你至少先洗洗你的。
If you won't bother with incense and bath, at least wash your...
庸医，就免了吧。
Spare me your wackery.
瑟利姆小姐，你到底是不是因为答应了咱的请求，才会急着回来找多尼戈尔啊？如果真是这样，咱就必须要对你受伤这事。
Mr. Lima, did you all come back to find Donigo in such a hurry because you promised to help me out? If that's really the case, then I'm gonna take responsibility for your injury.
自作多情。
Oh, presumptions of you.
多尼戈尔与我算不上宠物，我更不可能对你随口拜托的事上心。从头到尾都是一时兴起。
Donigo is hardly a pet to me, and I certainly would not concern myself with your casual requests. From beginning to end, it was merely a passing fancy.
你怎么连搬出来的理由都跟咱之前想的一模一样？
Wow, how did you come up with the exact same excuse I thought of?
那个，其实我也在之前的战斗中受了伤。既然大家都有伤，不然还是先结伴找白姬先生处理一下吧。
Actually, I was also injured in the previous battle. Since we are all hurt, why don't we go together to get treated by Mr. Baiji?
我无所谓。
As long as it's free, I don't mind. So cute.
好像冷战闹分家的。
They look like a broken up.
不行，
No,
不能说出
I
口。
cannot say that out loud. Yeah. And you telling me that we will leave this? You will tell me that we will never cross Amber Streets again? This is impossible. Baiji.
两位都受了外伤，让同一位医师负责就好。瑟利姆小姐，松雀大师，这边请。
Since you both have external injuries, it would be best to have the same physicians attend to you. Mr. Lema, Master Songque, this way, please.
多尼戈尔，就暂且托付给瑟拉佩姆小姐吧。
Doni Gu, I will leave you in Miss Serapeum's care for now. After the 2 people and 1 dog filed you, you finally escaped the awkwardness of being sandwiched between them and took a deep breath of relief.
越是在乎，越害怕暴露脆弱；越是憧憬，越难于袒露真心。
The more one cares, the more one fears exposing vulnerability. The more one yearns, the more one hesitates to lay bare the heart.
在下本不愿评议瑟利姆小姐与松雀大师的关系，但见你如此苦恼，还是忍不住多言一句。
I would rather not comment on Mr. Lema and Master Songque's relationship, but seeing you so troubled, I cannot help but share a few words.
奇怪，这个时间点的白吉怎么会这么了解松雀和瑟利姆？
Strange. How does Baiji know so much about Songque and Lema at this point in time?
白吉先生何出此言？
What makes you say that, Mr. Baiji?
在正式与他们会面之前，我就已从虾妹的描述中构建了对他们的基本印象。至于我手握的其他信息，就不便告知了。
Before officially meeting them, I had already formed an idea of them from my sister's accounts. As for what else I know, I cannot tell you.
还请相信，若非知根知底，我绝技不会委托松雀大师窃取黄道星之环，并坦然接受他最终落入他人之手的结局。
Please believe that I would never have entrusted Master Songque with stealing their zodiac astral ring, nor have calmly accepted it going to another in the end, had I not known every details of the situation.
在下并无冒犯之意，敞开天窗说亮话，不过是为了将自己的感激切实无误地传达给你和你的同伴。
I mean no offense. To be frank, I simply wish to convey my gratitude to you and your companions without any misunderstandings.
我先前还担心白吉先生会因突生变故而怪罪松雀，甚至对我抱有敌意。现在看来，是我多虑了。
I was worried earlier that you would blame Songque for the sudden turn of the events, or even be hostile towards me. But I see I was overthinking it.
松雀深得家妹喜爱，你更是浮出隐灾的英雄，我何以那样对待你们？
Songque is a good friend of my sister, and you are the hero who purged the shadow calamity. How could I treat you both in such a manner?
有句话不知当不当讲。白吉先生会使用如此不合你身份的手段取得星之环，有点超出我的预期。
I don't know if I should say this, but I'm honestly surprised that you used such methods undercoming of your status to obtain the astral ring.
直说卑劣亦可。
You may call it despicable.
我也曾将守正不移奉为圭臬，后来却明白所有预设的不应打破的常理，背后都潜藏着一种我们本可以轻易征服的恐惧。
I too once held righteousness as my guiding principle, but later realized that behind all preset, supposedly inviolable norms, lies a fear that we couldn't have easily conquered.
人们从未真正屈从于我不应如此， 而是害怕偏离常理的步伐踏碎生活。生活行路是对上哪怕一道遗迹的目光。
People have never truly submitted to I should not be this, but rather fear that anything unconventional, so much as meaning a simple suspicion glance at their way, would ruin their life.
为了不经受这样的恐惧，大多数人才蜷缩在我本该如此的模具里，最终成为了如今的自己。
To avoid such fears, most people curl up in the molds of this is who I should be, ultimately becoming who they are today.
倘若人们提前拥有徘徊在生死边缘的经验，恐怕就能立刻觉察，世上原本只存在一件值得恐惧的事。
If people had prior experience of being stranded on the brink of death, they would immediately realize there is only one thing in this world truly worth fearing.
他夺走了我的妹妹，夺走了我唯一真爱的时光。可他仍不满足于此，这一次，他甚至要借神明之手，掠夺更多，更多。
He took away my sister, took away my only precious moments, yet it remains unsatisfied. This time, it even seeks to use the hands of a god to plunder more and more. Even though you have met and reunited with the man before you many times, you dare not imagine what despair must be he have endured to be able to maintain such composure even when he was boiling inside.
我一次也没有看透过利托斯特的想法，对他的种种作为更是难以认同。但我不能否认，若无你与友人倾力相助，我会踏上与他相仿道路的事实。
I have never once understood Litost thoughts, much less agreed with his actions. But I cannot deny the fact that without you and your friends' devoted assistance, I would have walked down a path similar to his.
所谓人神，既是神明愚弄世人命数时，人应当为自己举起的旌旗。
The so-called human god, in the banner that humans must rise for themselves when they divine toy with the fate of mortals.
可我们终究是命路相连于一处的树，若不踏上非人之道，又如何能创造乃至战胜神明？
But in the end, if we are shoes connected by fate, if we do not tread the path beyond humanity, what can we create, let alone triumph over the divine?
如果这条路错误连连，苦难迭起呢？
What if this path is filled with mistakes and endless suffering?
寻梦者，你早已清楚在下的答案，因为于你而言，这里只是来与去的交汇点。
Oh, how do they all know? Dreamseeker, you already know my answer. Because for you, this place is merely a crossing point between coming and going.
你是怎么？
How did you?
世间的思虑早已织就了遇见之网，我无法定格未来穿网而过的瞬间，却能辨明网中留下的碎末。你若喜欢，就称其为直觉吧。
The threads of events have long since woven a web of foresight. Though I cannot freeze the moment that slip through this web, I can discern the specks left within it. If you prefer, you may call it intuition.
无论如何，在神明长眠后，我们不日也将再度沦为庸人，注定无法去往你要抵达的地方。但来日若需相助，在下定会全力以赴，以报今世之恩。
In any case, after the gods enter their eternal slumber, we too shall soon revert to ordinary people, destined to never reach the place you will reach. However, should you need assistance in the days to come, I shall spare no effort to repay the kindness you have shown today.
那 我只好先向白吉先生道一声谢谢了。
Then, I need to thank you first, Mr. Baiji.
不客气。对了，若你稍后还要看望瑟利姆小姐与松雀大师，能否替我把这方手帕交还瑟利姆小姐？
You're welcome. By the way, if you are going to visit Mr. Lema and Master Songque later, could you return this handkerchief to Mr. Lema for me?
在下毕竟是外人，这件事还是由他亲自做妥当。
I am an outsider after all. This matter should be handled by her personally.
真是个麻烦又别扭的大小
What a
姐。
troublesome and awkward hair she is. Oh man. This music.
松雀，瑟利姆小姐，你们的伤处理好了吗？
Songque, Miss Lema, have your injuries been treated?
咱本来也没什么大问题，但瑟利姆小姐，哼哼，你懂的。
I was fine to begin with, but Mr. Lema, you know what I mean.
小雀子，你好像有些聒噪啊。
Sure, you are being rather garrulous.
所以，两位之后有什么打算？
So, what are your plans after this?
我觉得松雀你可以把眼光放得更长远，比如成为一名演员，然后在某一天站上所有人都能看见你的舞台。
I think you should set your sights higher, Songque. Like becoming an actor and one day standing on a stage where everyone can see you.
就算往演员的方向发展，也得先攒钱嘛。
Even if I want to be an actor, I'm still gonna save up money first, you know?
等灾后重建结束，大家一定会需要更多娱乐活动，这也意味着此处必有商机。
Once post-disaster recovery is complete, people will need more recreational activities. In other words, there will be business opportunities.
你倒与我不谋而合了。我也正打算利用家族积攒的财富与人脉，在安和乃至洛星范围内发展娱乐产业。
How delightful that our minds think alike. I too am planning to utilize my family's accumulated wealth and connections to develop the entertainment industry throughout Antares and even Loxing. Wait a moment. Aren't we going back to chapter 4? Like the happy future?
你看看，这不巧了，松雀。
Look at that. What a coincidence, Songque.
寻梦者，有些路可能生来就不适合聒噪的人走。咱可不想因为话太多又兜不住事儿，被观众轰下台啊。
Dream Seeker. Some paths are not meant for folks who can keep their traps shut. I ain't looking to get bored off stage because I run my mouth too much and could not handle the heat.
与其纠结这个，咱宁愿先琢磨怎么才能跟白吉少爷混呢？给他干活，不说大富大贵，肯定也是一辈子衣食不愁。
Instead of worrying about that, I would rather figure out how to get in good with young Master Baiji. Working for him might not get me filthy rich, but I will never have to worry both about food and clothes for life.
白吉，我只有一个问题，小雀子，究竟是让你承认你的价值更难，还是接受我的帮助更难？
I have but one question to you. Which is more difficult for you? Acknowledging your worth or accepting my help?
什么？你问咱还想问问你嘞？
What? You asking me? I should be the one asking you?
凭什么你能不让咱知道你在想什么，咱就非得告诉你咱的打算？这不是欺负人吗？
Why do you gonna to keep your thoughts to yourself while I'm gonna spill mine? That unfair, you know?
我真是 说够了。
I'm just so done with this.
我只有一个问题，小雀子，先把白吉的什么计划丢到一边去。
I only have one question, Chu. Putting aside Baiji's plan.
你究竟想活，还是想死？
Do you want to leave or die?
那还是就这样死掉好一些吧。
It is probably better for me to just die like this. It's probably the new
如果一定要
warp.
被他人安排命运，为什么他就不肯听我的话呢？
If she must have fate arranged by others, why cannot she listen to me? While circuitous words may preserve one's dignity to their greatest extent, they sound too cruel in the face of life and death. How could water blend with wine, since slowly pouring them from their vessels wouldn't do? Your only option left was to break their vessels together.
如果不会再有未来，就更应该一口气说完那些还在等待机会诉说的话。
If there's no future ahead, then we should say everything we have been waiting to say in one's breath. Shout it loud. Hold both their hands down. I don't know. Shout it out loud. Do it.
你们两个，赶快给我和好啊！
You two. Make up right now.
瑟利姆，时刻保持完美真的有那么重要吗？松雀根本就不在意你半途让多尼戈尔跑了这件事，他一直在担心你的安危啊。
Dilemma. Is being perfect all the time really that important? Songque doesn't even care that you let Doniga escape midway. She was worried thick about your safety.
还有松雀，你都察觉到了瑟利姆掩饰真相的理由，为什么就不能大胆相信你的推测，非要用蹩脚的谎言试探他，结果搞得自己也心口不一呢？
And Songque, you have already figured out why Dilemma is hiding the truth. So why cannot you trust your instincts instead of testing her with clumsy lies and betraying your feelings?
我就直说了吧，不光是我和其他人，瑟利姆小姐也一样。不，我认为她远比你想象的要更重视你。
Let me be frank. It is not just me or others. Miss Selima also. No, I believe she values you far more than you can imagine. She's finally saying it.
我知道这些话很冒犯，所以必须要跟你们说一句对不起。但我不想在最后一次告别里留下任何遗憾，也不想让我的朋友们留下任何遗憾。
I know these words are offensive, so I must apologize to you both. But I don't want to leave any regrets in our final parting, and I don't want my friends to have any regrets either.
我还准备和斯拉佩姆说说话，先走了。
I'm going to have a chat with Serapeum. See you two later. Before leaving, you showed the handkerchief, which Telemus has passed on multiple times, into her palm. Even without opening it, you could guess what was wrapped inside.
怎么说完就跑啊？如果是来告别的，怎么还没说再见呢？
What do you run off like that? If you are here to say goodbye, we haven't even done that yet.
不说再见，才有机会再见，不是吗？
By not saying goodbye, we retain the possibility to meet again. Don't you agree?
也是。
I guess so. Dreamseeker forceful words pushed the two into a pure white space, where there were no high walls to obstruct words, no color to deceive the heart.
既然一直留着这顶小皇冠，就把它看紧点。谁又能保证下一次捡到它的人还是我？
Since you have kept this little crown all the time, You would better keep a closer eye on it. Who knows if it will be the one to find it next time.
知道了。谢谢。
Got it. Thanks.
等等，咱从来都没把它拿给别人看过吧？一直是什么意思？
Hold up! I have never shown it to anyone else. So what do you mean by all this time?
衣服不能决定一个人的价值，人的价值只能由自己赋予。
Clothes cannot determine a person's worth. A person's worth can only be given by themselves.
我原以为它会成为你继续留在台上的底气，画很多的小麻雀。
I thought it would be your source of confidence to remain on stage. You traitor little sparrow.
你
I'm bursting into tears. You? Oh my god. Without warning, Songque recalled the pair of eyes she has been staring at before fleeing the stage. In the darkness filled with sneers and whispers, those eyes alone did not make her feel afraid. And those, she saw them as her only hope, trembling as she took a small step forward.
是秘密基地的女孩，
It's a girl from the secret base.
可她坐在第一排，还有她身边的人的衣服。果然，她在骗我，她也是贵族。
But she sat in the front row, and the clothes of those around. True enough, she was lying to me. She was also a noble. What that remark means to tease or pity, little Maria does not think about it at the time. If she found evidence for her flawed answer, all the illusions she lived by would shatter. Rather than face that, it would be easier to stay away in the first place. In the end, she did not stop by that girl's side. Instead, clutching her hem of a princess dress that was not hers, she fled from both the stage and the orphanage before the lights came back on, thus beginning her life as a wanderer.
斯利姆，你当时为什么会对我说出那句话？
Selima, why did you say that to me back then?
看你太紧张，想鼓励你一下。但我那时受父亲影响，有掉书袋的习惯，所以这份鼓励也有修饰过多的地方。
You seem rather tense, so I wanted to offer some encouragement. At that time, however, I had the habit of being pedantic due to my father's influence, so my encouragement was excessively embellished.
原来是这样。
I see.
不过，从幕后走到台前的这段距离里，你让我改变了想法。
However, during the journey from behind the scenes to center stage, you have changed my mind.
我会被上流社会看中，可以一夜之间从麻雀变成凤凰。
I will be recognized by high society, transforming from sparrow into a phoenix overnight.
有意思，虽然眼睛里闪烁着这样的光彩，手倒是快把公主裙抓烂了。
Interesting. Though her eyes sparkled with such radiance, her hands were crumbling the princess dress.
你的眼神让我确信，只要眼前出现了光芒，你一定会想方设法抓住它。 哪怕自身根本不具备资质，哪怕要为此欺瞒自己一生。
You guys assured me, then whatever a gleam of light appears before you, you will try to seize it by all means, even if you utterly lack that qualification, even if you must deceive yourself for a lifetime.
我十分欣赏你的野心，可惜，不论那时还是现在，在所有可以求助于我的时候，你都选择了逃跑。
I admire your ambition. Alas, both then and now, at every opportunity I can be called upon you, you chose to run away.
宋雀，你为什么要逃呢？
Songque, why do you run?
那毕竟是咱学会的唯一能保护自尊心的方法呀。
Running away was only way I learned to protect my pride.
而现在，大概已经不需要了。
But now, I guess I don't need to do that.
咱愿意接受你的帮助，因为咱也会帮助你。
I'm willing to accept your help because I will help you too.
就像寻梦者说的一样，在某一天，咱要站上所有人都能看得见咱的舞台，然后让松雀这个名字被所有洛星人记住。
Just like Dreamseeker said, one day I'm gonna stand out on a stage where everyone can see me and make sure every single person in Lo Xing remembers the name Songque.
很好，那成为演员的第一件事，就是先把你这个不知道从哪里来的口癖改掉。
Very well. The first step to becoming an actor is to rid yourself of particular verbal tics, whatever they may have come from.
还有，对我的敬称可以去了，反正你刚刚也忘了说。
And you may drop the honorifics with me, since you forgot to use them earlier anyway.
好呀，那你是不是也应该给我换一个称呼？
This is too awesome. Alright, then shouldn't you address me differently too?
以后要跑的时候，我会等你一起。你要做什么的时候，也别忘了喊我，可以吗？
From now on, when it's time to run, I will wait for you. And when you want to do something, don't forget to count me in, okay?
跑什么？鸟，当然要飞起来啊！
Run? Birds mean to fly. I can't. Oh my god.
我刚刚真的说了好多平时根本不可能说出来的话。
I just said so many things I would not have normally said.
但愿我给他们留下的印象不会因此变得奇怪。
I hope this won't make them think oddly of me.
最后就是瑟拉佩姆了。
Last but not least, Serapeum.
在雷耶拉一离开你之后，你一定很不好受吧？
After Layla left, you must have felt awful. What do you think? The kids who called me that? Wait, how did you know? Thus, you know, just knows. Oh my god, I did not expect this one, but this is just beyond awesomeness. Oh no, Seraphia just staying there. Adonigo. Oh.
斯拉，
The girl before you seems to have fallen into a deep slumber, and she showed no response to your calls. Duniga was in the same state in her arms. Out of concern, you tried to pat her shoulder gently. However, the moment you touched her, something happened. This wasn't your first experience with Union. Back in Sector 1, you voluntarily entered Serapeum's consciousness to save Helia, Coralie, and Senna. At this moment, your eyelids felt like two heavy gates, imprisoning your thoughts as they closed. You sank uncontrollably into an undulating darkness until you were completely submerged in it. This place was damp, cold, and deeply sorrowed. Swim upstream? You quickly reached the boundary of this place, and a question emerged.
如果你的生命10天后就要结束，你能做什么？
If your lives were to end in 10 days, what could you do? Fill up all loose ends? Life normally until the last day? Bid your final farewells to your family and friends? Experience everything you have never experienced before? Document your life up until this point. I will not bother probably. Life normally. You gave your answer, while knowing that the countless answers you had not chosen, while still keeping you afloat.
如果你的生命明日就要结束，你能做什么？
If your life were to end tomorrow, what could you do? The emergence of this new question made most of the answers behind you suddenly vanish. Without their support, you began to fall. But you did not give up flailing your arms, because you could still summarize your life up till the point. Live normally until tomorrow comes. You gave your answer by believing that meaning would still bloom through your choice.
如果世界将在你死去的瞬间结束，你能做什么？
If the world were to end the moment you die, what could you do?
我
This one looks good. You failed to grasp any answer. For you were in hopeless wilderness, on a lonely shore, and the meeting you waver into nothingness was the very light that had faded into darkness. How could one grasp something that had never existed in the first place?
不
No.
对不起，梅耶拉姐姐，我不是故意的。
I'm sorry, Layla. I didn't mean it.
没关系。
It's alright. You raised your head in panic and met the girl's gaze. In an instant, the guilt in her eyes turned to confusion. And then she apologized once again.
我认错人了，对不起。
I mistook you for someone else. I'm sorry. The two apologies carried vastly different meanings, yet you perceived a single truth from them. You were still not here, not yet.
我想安慰多多，想帮助他战胜不安和恐惧。
I want to console Duo and help it overcome its anxiety and fear.
可他读不懂文字，也听不懂语言，所以我才试着和他的心灵对话。这是我第一次主动这样做，没想到把姐姐牵扯了进来。
But it cannot read or understand language, so I tried to communicate with its heart. It was my first time trying to do this, and I didn't think I would implicate you.
你和多多聊了什么？
What did you talk about?
我说，从今往后，我会代替利托斯特叔叔照顾他，
I said that I would take care of it in Lito's place from now on.
但他一直在冲不在这里的利托斯特叔叔发火，骂他不允许他把家里搞乱，不允许他乱咬东西，更不允许他把斗篷当被子盖。
But it kept getting angry at Uncle Litos, who was not present, complaining about how he would not let it mess up the house, wouldn't let it chew on things, and especially would not let it use his cloth as a blanket.
为了报复利托斯特叔叔，多多决定从斗篷开始做所有不被对方允许的事。
To get back at Uncle Litos, Dudo decided to start with the cloth and do everything he had forbidden. By the way, she still called him Dudo.
他相信他总有受不了的一天。
It believes he will get fed up with it one day. You look at Donigos, and the piece of cloth it was curled up in. This fabric that Songque called a rag was actually a cloth hood, a treasure it deeply clung to for some unknown reason. Once draped over the wheel of destiny, all things would break free from the shadow cast by the wheel, dissolving into a deep darkness. There, the path of origin would vanish, and past would fade away, and only a certain summon essence would envelop it for all eternity.
姐姐，我很羡慕多多。他不在乎对错，他只在乎自己相信的人。
Sister, I envy Dudo. He doesn't care about right or wrong. It only cares about the people it believes in.
但我相信的，教会我对错的人，全都在做相反的事，并且一一离开了我。
But the people I believe in, the ones who taught me right from wrong, they all did the opposite, and one by one, they left me.
在这之后，我只有多多了。
And then, all I had left was Dudo.
我想让多多得到我曾经得到过的幸福，可在发生这些事情后，幸福变成了我无法理解的样子，就像多多也无法理解利托斯特叔叔已经死了一样。
I want Dudo to experience the same happiness I once had. But after everything that's happened, happiness has become something I cannot understand anymore. Just like how Dudo cannot understand that Uncle Litos is gone.
姐姐，一个不能理解幸福的人，究竟要怎样才能够给予幸福？
Sister, how can someone who does not understand happiness give happiness to others? By the way, maybe she called her Miss or not sister, but I don't know.
身处不知如何自救，又想拯救他人的困境里，结合就是瑟拉佩姆能够找到的唯一的路。
Caught in a dilemma of not knowing how to save herself yet wanted to save others, union was the only path that Serapeum could turn onto.
我固然可以直接告诉他答案，但不经自我和时间验证得出的答案，无法帮助现在的他。我真正应该做的是另一件事。
I could simply tell her the answer, but an answer received without self-reflection and the test of time would not help her current situation. What I really should do is something else.
我有一个点子。
I have an idea.
一个人想不通，可以让一群人帮你想啊。
If you cannot figure it alone, you can ask others to help you through it.
你家刚好是图书馆，我们完全可以大办一场跟幸福有关的分享会。
Your place is right next to a library. We can host a big sharing session about happiness. It's totally feasible.
斯利姆小姐举办宴会的经验丰富，白吉少爷有钱，松雀擅长张罗，沙弗莱认真的同时，还能负责监督松雀。
Mr. Lema is experienced in hosting parties. Master Baiji has money. Songque is good at organizing things. Tsavorae is diligent, and she can also supervise Songque.
我没有和他们说过太多话。
I haven't really talked to them much.
别担心，我和他们很熟。等分享会开始的那天，我还会负责主持，到时绝对不点你的名字。
Don't worry, I know them well. I can facilitate the sharing session, and I promise not to call on you.
姐姐，谢谢你，因为你灵感又出现了，而这一次，我不想放跑它。
Thank you, sister. Because of you, I'm feeling inspired again. And this time, I won't let this feeling slip away. As the girl spoke, she took on the book she always carried with her. You remember this book well, as Serapeum would always silently stare at it, rarely writing anything in it.
现在的我已经有了许多想法，我会把松雀姐姐的故事全部记述下来。
Now I have many ideas for Songque's book. I will write down her story as the way it is.
对了，我可以把你们也写在她的故事里吗？你们对松雀姐姐，对大家都是很重要的朋友。
All right. May I put you all in her story too? You are Songque's friend, and you mean a lot to her.
印象中，他上一次提笔，还是在为松雀办葬礼时，想要替他完成最后的心愿。
I remember that the last time she picked up her pen was during Songque's funeral, when she wanted to fulfill Songque's final wish.
不过，我到最后都没能看见他写出的故事呢。
But in the end, I never got to read the story she wrote.
斯拉，你这次准备写什么？可不可以稍微透露一点？
Sarah, what are you planning to write this time? Could you give me a little hint?
秘密。
It's a secret.
唉，
I'm just, maybe it's not really appropriate to talk about this. But when we have someone similar to Serapeum, like little Griselle, who was drawing a particular manga, why do I have a feeling that Serapeum will probably do something similar, but in other direction?
之后，我会找个合适的时间给姐姐看。
I will find a suitable time to show it to you.
那就说好了。
Then it's settled.
一言为定。
You have my words.
如果世界将要陷入停滞，再短暂的快乐也会因此化作永恒的幸福。
If the world is about to stagnate, even their briefest joy will transform into timeless happiness.
这就是我唯一能为你做到的事。
This is the only thing I can do for you. Leaving time and space to Serapeum, you arrived at the secluded spot.
在小薇被转交给陈学姐后，要以最快的速度去往瑞木，只剩一个办法了。
I handed my V-coin to Chenxue, so there's only one way left to reach Ruimu as quickly as possible.
使用普罗米修斯留下的防维塔用临时紧急通讯，再次联系阿杰塔和维塔。
I will have to use the anti-Vita emergency communication left by Prometheus to contact Ajita and Vita again.
算了，我又不是故意的，事急从权，况且维塔本来也没少戏耍我。
Whatever, it is not like I want to do this. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and besides, Vita has messed with me plenty of times before. You calmed yourself down and dialed the anti-Vita emergency communication. When faced with the same words, everyone would likely give answers that appear similar but carried entirely different meanings. You knew when your companion Vita would dislike being a mouthpiece for rules. Instead, she prefers interpreting words her own way. However, when it came to interpreting Dreamseeker's journey, her attitude had always been sincere. Not once did she ever fool around.
请谨记，你才是寻梦之旅的核心。除你的生命外，没有任何人、任何事值得真爱。
Remember, you're the core of this dream-seeking program, and you should worth your life.
这是
What is this?
妈妈，图图被埋在房子下面了。
My bunny's put on the house. Grandpa.
会没事的，小童。
Everything will be alright, Tong.
妈妈，都怪我，要是我再勇敢一点。
Mama, it's all my fault. If only I have been braver.
要是你再勇敢一点，我们失去的就不会只是兔兔了。
If you had been braver, we would have lost more than just a bunny.
没关系，宝贝，只要人还在就够了。
It's okay, darling. As long as we are alive, that's all that matters.
我记得你是比安卡姐姐的朋友。
I remember you. You're Bianca's friend.
于藤妹妹，于柳小姐，你们的爷爷
Yutong, Yulin, your grandfather.
在撤离的路上，武馆的队伍遭遇了引怪潮。爷爷为了保护落在队尾的孩子，应接了引怪的一击。
Damn. During the evacuation, the group from our martial arts school ran into a wave of shadow monsters. Grandpa took a hit from a shadow monster for the children, who fell behind.
要是比安卡再晚来几秒，爷爷怕是坚持不到医生赶来的时候。
If Bianca has come a few seconds later, Grandpa, he probably would not have survived enough long until the doctors arrived.
爷爷，他不会有事吧？
Grandpa, will he be alright? So, okay, there's still a chance. Good.
爷爷身子骨硬着呢，相信医生吧。
Grandpa is tough as a nail. Trust the doctor. Oh, who are you?
山中合双眼，于是高天得见黎明，将他的身中的罪愆倾塌。
God had shut her eyes. Those, the high heavens may witness down as her grave sins collapse upon her.
可那彷徨于无数个黑夜的代价，如今又该向谁讨要呢？
But who shall be held accountable for the price? A price that lasted countless nights. The coldest hour is just before dawn. You finally understood what that indescribable feeling inside you truly was. Just like Bianca, no matter how much you could try to convince yourself that you have achieved the best possible outcome, their sorrow faces make you imagine those many other possibilities.
如果当时我能找到其他选择，如果我能做得更好，如果我可以熟练使用那份力量。
Maybe I should have found a way to make a different choice. Maybe I should have done better. Maybe I should have mastered that power. In the history of quantum computer simulation, It was possible to have many what ifs, but for those living in this very moment, this is the only reality. Your every choice might be far heavier than you realize.
要倒了，要倒了，灰碎之塔要倒了！
It's falling. The tower of corruption is falling.
陈学姐，
I guess this is the last goodbye that we have to say.
陈学姐，我好像又来晚一步呢，总是错过，不停错过，我还真是个不成器的妹妹啊。不过，你看，至少我找回了姐姐的挂坠。
Seems like I have arrived too late again. I'm always missing out again and again and again. I'm really an disappointing little sister, ain't I? But look, this I found your pendant.
她真的来到了这里，她真的完成了约定。她总是能超乎我的想象。
She really came here. She really kept her promise. She always managed to exceed my expectation.
她一定是在这里觐见了神明，被神明抹消了人世间的名字，成为第31日。
She must have met with God here, had her mortal name erased by God, and became the 31st day. We probably even met her, shouting.
我只找到了这个挂坠。我想象过最坏的可能，但当它真正摆在我眼前，我还是
I only found this pendant. I once imagined the worst possibility, but then it was actually lying before me. I still... By the way, look at this damage. This is a sea of data damage.
迁怒于他人，才能减轻自己的罪恶；盲目的行动，才能忽视悲剧的开始。
Only by directing all anger at others can we lessen our guilt. Only by acting blindly can we ignore the beginning of a tragedy.
寻梦者，害姐姐走到这一步的人，从来就不是利托斯特，而是我自己啊！
Dream Seeker, the only one who drove my sister to this point was never Litost, but myself.
你当真要去廊丘参加实数战争？
Are you really going to participate in the Tenchu's War in Langchu?
只要我能够在实数战争里取得好名次，你就要继续学业。赌约我一直记着呢。
As long as I get the good ranking in the Tenchu's War, you will continue your studies. I haven't forgotten about that bet, you know.
你准备凭什么取得好名次？凭你800米跑5分钟，还是凭你一看见血就难受？
How are you exactly? Do you plan to rank well? With your finishing 800 meters in 5 minutes? Or with your squeamishness in the sight of blood?
当然是这个，就像你一样。
With this, of course, just like you.
头脑，我可没你这么聪明。
Intelligence? Huh. I'm not nearly as clever as you.
那你又凭什么能找到我？为了完美的躲开你，我筹划了好几天呢。
Then how did you manage to find me? I spent days coming up with the perfect plan to avoid you.
哪有这么多为什么？我是你妹妹，用脚趾头都能想到你会去哪儿。
Why so many questions? I'm your sister. I could figure out where you would go in my sleep.
陈雪，我记得你小时候一直都觉得我的挂坠很好看，总是想尽办法让我送你，对吧？
Chenxue, I recall when you were little. You thought my pendant was beautiful and tried everything to get me give it to you, right? Wait, doesn't her adult version has her pendant on her neck?
省省吧，我才不要它当临别礼物。
Save it. I don't want it as a farewell gift.
我本来就不打算现在送你。
I wasn't planning to give it to you now anyway. Then
那你
等他成为了接受神明赐福的实术战争冠军的秘宝再说吧。
let's wait until it becomes a blessed treasure of the Chenxue sports champions.
姐姐说的话，我一个字都没听进去。除了聪明，她就没一点能拿冠军的样子。
I didn't listen to a single word my sister said. Apart from being smart, there was no way she could become the champion.
然而，即便姐姐绝无可能成为冠军是如此明显的事实，我心中的不安也没有消解半分。
However, even though it was strikingly clear that she could never be the champion, the unseen in my heart did not diminish in the slightest.
因为你不想看到小新在擂台上受伤。
Because you didn't want to see Xiaoxing get hurt in the arena?
看来我给自己找的理由还挺自然，自然到连你都被他骗过去了。
I guess that was a reasonable excuse I made up for myself. So convincing that even you were fooled by it.
寻梦者，我那时最害怕的是姐姐真如她所坚信的那样成为冠军，而我的渺小与无能也将因此失去掩饰的借口，彻底暴露在她面前啊。
Dreamseeker, what I fear most at the time was that my sister would become a champion, as she firmly believed. My insignificance and incompetence would, after I lost my excuses, be laid bare before her.
你什么都不懂。
You don't understand a single thing?
我懂。
I do understand.
那你为什么要在不擅长的事情里钻牛角尖？为什么要为了一个幼稚的赌约拼尽全力？为什么要像个笨蛋一样去参加那么危险的比赛？
Why do you have to be so stubborn again about things you are not good at? Why do you have to give you all for such a childish bet? Why do you have to act like a fool and enter that deadly competition?
陈雪，每个人都有不擅长的事，自然也都会因此受伤。我不会说那又如何，我只想说，就算这样，你梦想抵达的那个世界依然会在前方等你。
Chenxue, we all have things we are not good at, so it's natural for us to get hurt because of it. I won't say, so what? But I just want to tell you that even so, the what you dream of reaching is still waiting for you up ahead.
他才不会因为你摔了一跤就弃你而去呢。如果你起身时找不到他，也只是泪水暂时模糊了视线而已。
It won't abandon you just because you stumbled. If you cannot find it when you get up, that's just because tears are temporarily blurring your vision.
说到底，哪有这么多为什么？我是你的姐姐呀。
Anyway, why do you need so many justifications? I'm your sister.
这就是我们最后的对话。
That was our final conversation.
在姐姐失去音讯的第一个星期里，我什么都能想起来。
During the first week after my sister went missing, I could still remember everything.
她说过的每一个字，字句里的每一处停顿，她笑了多久，叹了多长， 还有阳光从哪片树叶移到了哪一片。真的，我什么都能想起来。
Every word she said, every pause between her words, how long she laughed, how deep she sighed. Even now, the sunlight moved from one leaf to another. Truly, I could remember everything.
1年后，我还能够想象姐姐的口吻和行事风格，用和自己拌嘴的方式打发一个人的时间。
A year after, I could still imagine my sister's tone and mannerisms, passing time alone by bickering with myself, just as I did with her.
等到了第4年，她真正的临别礼物，一条围巾。尽管只是天冷时才用得到，但经过多次水洗，也已经硬得不成样子了。
With the 4th year, a true parting gift, a scarf that was only needed in cold weather, has become stiff and misshaped after multiple washes.
而现在，在我跟你讲述的故事里，有多少是记忆修正的产物，又有多少是姐姐没有说过的内容，我根本没法确定。
And now, in this story I'm telling you, how much of it is altered by my memory, and how much of it was never said by my sister, I cannot be sure.
只有一个时刻，就是你喊我陈学姐，试图向我寻求某种答案的时刻，我才第一次真正理解了姐姐的心情。
Only that moment, when you looked up to me and sought an answer from me, did I truly understand, for the first time, how it felt to be an elder sister.
姐姐，她做到了她承诺的每一件事，成为10数战争的冠军，送出我喜欢的挂坠，却唯独没能在她最该得意的时候，像往常那样说教我一番。
My sister, she fulfilled every single promise she made. She became the champion of the Chenxue war, gave me the pendant I love. Yet when she should have been the proudest, she could not lecture me like she used to.
寻梦者，我们就在这里告别吧。
Dreamseeker, let's part ways here.
我不要。
I refuse.
你
You?
陈学姐，你有想象过离开这里的自己会是什么样吗？
Chenxue, have you ever imagined what you would be like if you left this place?
我能想象到啊。
I can imagine it.
今天我也会和你一起行动。如果遇到什么困难，不要客气，尽情依赖我这个学姐吧。
I will be with you today. If you run into any trouble, don't hesitate to ask me.
那个你，喜欢噙着让人琢磨不透的微笑，一边感慨科研不易，一边取得不得了的成就。稍有空闲，你也不会全用来休息，要么是研究世上风向，要么是参加户外活动。
You always wear that enigmatic smile, lamenting how tough researching is while achieving remarkable results. Even in your spare time, you never fully rest. You are either keeping up with fashion trends or participating in outdoor activities.
你未免太热爱生活了吧？是熟识你的人留下的最多的评价。
You are way too passionate about life. This is the most common remark from those who know you well.
可他们，乃至最依赖你的后辈都不知道，你究竟是从怎样的过去走到了现在，又为什么会在加入数据研究所的理由上态度含糊。
But all of them, even the juniors most reliant on you, they don't know what you have been through to get here, nor why you remain ambitious about your reasons for joining the Data Research Institute. You still did not figure out who is the actual, the this empire of Chenxue.
你只是笑着，既不夸是希望的光芒，将自己安放在妄念搭建的空中楼阁里，也没有自暴自弃，过着浑噩的生活。
You just smiled, neither deluding yourself into exaggeration the light of hope, nor giving up on yourself to live an aimless life.
那个你，向我揭示了另一种选择。我们也许能够接纳绝望的存在，继续爱着所爱之人不在的世界。
That version of you revealed another choice to me. Perhaps we can accept the existence of despair and continue to love this world even when those we love are gone.
我想象不到那样的自己。
I cannot imagine myself being like that.
陈学姐，你一直都是这样的人，哪里还需要想象呢？
Chenxue, you have always been someone like that. Why would you need to imagine it?
倒不如说，即便没有我，你也一定会离开这里。毕竟
I would say that even without me, you will leave this place anyway. After all,
你是个聪明人，更是我见过的最执着的好人。
you are clever and the most determined good person I have ever met.
那么你呢？你又会做出什么选择？
What about you? What choice will you make?
身处人群时，你的眼神偶尔会飘忽不定。我起初以为你走神了，后来才意识到，你是被什么东西吸引了目光。
When you are in a crowd, you gaze occasionally wonders. At first, I thought you were spacing out, but I realized something must have caught your attention.
那个人应该有一头红色长发，对吧？
That person must have had long red hair, right?
没有和重要之人好好告别，悲伤才会成为永远无法坠地的眼泪。
Without properly parting ways with those dear to us, our sorrow becomes tears that can never fall to the ground.
可假如当时真的好好告别了，我难道就能够笑着走出这里吗？
But even if I had a proper farewell, would I really be able to walk out of here with a smile?
姐姐常说，暂时解不开的题，可以跳到下一道去做。所以在不知道该往哪里走的时候，当然也可以先往前走。
My sister always says that when you cannot solve a problem, you can skip to the next one. So when you don't know which way to go, you can always keep moving forward.
这句话就很像我想象中的陈学姐会说出来的话。
That's exactly the kind of things I imagine you would say.
我就是有感而发罢了。
I was just speaking from my heart.
虽然无法想象未来的自己，但永远留在姐姐离去的黄昏，才更不像现在的陈雪会做的事。
Though I cannot imagine my future self to linger forever in that twilight where my sister departed, it's not something my current self would do.
我要带着那个黄昏，去往有她在的黎明。
I will carry the twilight with me and go forward the dawn where she waits.
陈学姐一定做得到，因为
Yes, you can absolutely do it because... No!
唉，你果然还是这么爱多管闲事。不过时间差不多了。
What a busybody you are. But it's about time. No, Rita, give us a couple of seconds.
Vita，
在那个小心眼的神明耐心耗尽之前，
Before that pretty god runs out of patience,
该走了。
let's get moving.
你想说的话已说， 你想做的事已做，纵然存在些许遗憾，但你也必须要承认，这就是你如今能够创造的最好的结局。
The best ending we could create. Later on appeared in 11. And with the finals goodbyes, I will say you goodbye to this episode. It was much extended because of all of this, but yeah. I still cannot believe that we will never see them. For example, I already see Nana here. What's Nana doing with Kevin? Oh, Klein, I mean. Well. So, I did expect to see a new Sealy, but looks like it will be in the another episode. I will be thanking you for... yeah, you know what? The fact that we broke the ice between Teleema and Songque was also very important here. And all the 7 shoes and Chenxue. I hope they will go into the future that we experienced in chapter 4. That's actually a pretty good outcome. And it was a very fun one. Maybe we will not see Litost, but well, who knows. Well, that will be it for this episode. I will be thanking you for watching, listening. I wish you a good day, night, afternoon, and see you in the episode 2 of this chapter. Take care.